Good evening to everybody. How's everybody doing? Good evening, good evening. Hopefully Facebook will let us communicate for a little bit, notifications if they are being distributed to the Facebook communities. It's really nice to talk to you guys after a long day and after a long day of interviews and information that is just holy cow. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Border Network News. God bless everybody that is watching. God bless, our country of Mexico, our city of Tijuana, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you so much for joining on this. Thank you so much for joining on today. I wanted to talk to you guys for a little bit, and I wanted to talk to you guys about what we did today. Our colleague and friend, Ben Berquam, from Real America's Boys News came over here. And, we did some really important interviews. Why is it important? And why we call them important interviews? Important interviews because it shows the level of insecurity that is going on in our country of Mexico. Later on this evening and later on today, we will, broadcast of what is really happening in terms to the visit of Kamala Harris into our country of Mexico, which in my opinion is useless if you don't go directly to the area that is affected. And ultimately, also, we will talk about an incident that just happened right here in the San Isidro port of entry, at a particular part in San Isidro, where they dropped another 5-year-old, 5 or 7-year-old unaccompanied minor, which their parents are already in the United States, and this unaccompanied minor was just dropped as a piece of product into the other side of the fence. It is horrible. So we will talk about that later on this afternoon, later on this evening. I will be live in the studio around 8 o'clock, 8:30, so West Coast time, Pacific time. For now, I want to give you guys information of what is happening in Michoacan and in Guerrero. Really dramatic day. Really dramatic and traumatic. The interviews that we have of these individuals and these people that they are suffering persecution, really. It is direct persecution. In their lives, it is completely in danger. As the cartel and the organized crime in our country of Mexico has taken control, total control, of the parts of Michoacan and Guerrero, specifically the parts in Apatzingan and also Aguililla, Mexico. It is horrible what is going on over there. We interviewed migrants, our paisanos, nuestros paisanos, the suffering in their eyes as they are crying for help. Even, I get a little bit emotional as I'm remembering these interviews, as me and Ben, we were watching how they were crying and they were telling their stories in front of us. And we were looking at each other and we were just, we're just shocked on what it is going on in our country of Mexico and how the organized crime and the cartel have taken over their freedom, their liberty, their land. They have taken over everything that they have. Every single thing. It is a reality. We asked them if the cartel it is dropping drones with C4 explosives into their homes. Yes, they are doing it. It is a reality that the cartel is going and the organized crime is going into their neighborhoods and shooting randomly to their homes, kidnapping, taking advantage of them and their businesses, and making them leave their homes. This is not the responsibility of the United States of America. Of course it's not. But ultimately, it is the responsibility of a corrupt and rotten government of Mexico. The politicians in Michoacan and Guerrero are a complete disgrace to our own people. The politicians in our country of Mexico are a complete shame and disgrace to our flag and to our country. Our president of Mexico, you have abandoned our people. You have abandoned the people of Michoacan and the people of Guerrero. This is not to blame the past presidents and the past administrations. You have abandoned our indigenous and farm and working class people of Michoacan and Guerrero. You, President AMLO, have abandoned our people. All of our people you have abandoned in Michoacan. The low-class citizens, the farmers, the workers, they work the land, they work the limes, they work the avocado fields, that they work the cornfields, that they work the fields. All those people, you have abandoned them. The governors of Michoacan and the governors of Guerrero, you are cowards for not protecting your own people. We are seeing right now, we just visited a shelter with more than 70+% of the shelter, it is full and packed with people from Michoacan and Guerrero that they're actually running away from persecution of the cartel. And it is all because of your communist government, your falsification of an idea that you're understanding, and you're trying to make people understand that hugs, that the violence will be resolved with hugs and no bullets. Look what that ideology of hugs and no bullets has got to. People leaving their homes. Every single person that I interviewed today from Michoacan and Guerrero, every single one of them I asked, if everything was good in Michoacan and Guerrero, if the violence was non-existent, if the organized crime was controlled and the government was not that corrupt in Michoacan and Guerrero, will you leave your home? Will you leave your city? Will you leave your state? And every single one of them, as they look so humble, their hands of these men on 50, 60 years of age, and these young men of 40, 30 years of age, all of them, their hands, you can look and you can actually see that they work the fields. And they were telling me in my face, no, I will never leave my city and I will never leave my country. But these people are taking over our country with guns, with C4 explosives, with artillery, with cartel activity. We cannot live like that. How am I going to leave my family to live like that? We listened to them for more than 4 hours. There's a lot of cases like that from Michoacan and Guerrero. And I believe that it's time for us, Oscar El Blue, particularly us, Oscar El Blue, my colleague Ben Berquam, from America's Voice, Real America's Voice News, and Real America's Voice News, to expose what is happening in our country of Mexico, to expose how the indigenous people in Michoacan and Guerrero are being threatened, and they're being taken over, and they're being exploited, and they're being harassed and killed and assassinated by the organized crime in that particular part, and the government is not doing anything about it. Always your country first. Fight for your country. Fight for your city and fight for your land. These people, they don't want to leave their country. They don't want to leave their land. But they don't leave no option but to leave their country and to leave their land because of the enormous violence and delinquence that is occurring in our country of Mexico. Estos son nuestros paisanos. This is our people. This is our people of Mexico. This is our people who they are being threatened to leave with their families because of the organized crime. This is the fault of a communist government that is actually governing right now in our country. And it is the past governments also, the political party of PRI, the political party of PAN, the political parties that they have been corrupt and bought by the organized crime and by the cartel. It is all their fault that we have a rotten government and the rotten system that is pushing our indigenous and humble people to leave their homes and to go somewhere else to ask for asylum when they don't want to leave their homes. They don't want to leave their homes. They're happy living in a beautiful city in a beautiful state like Michoacan and the cities like Apatzingan, the beautiful cities like Aguililla and Guerrero, the state of Guerrero, Cuatro Caminos, Nueva Italia, Rancho de los Olivos, Lázaro Cárdenas. All these places that are beautiful in Michoacan, they are taken over by the organized crime. They're cutting the roads so they can take over land, pieces of land. The organized crime goes and puts explosives on the concrete so you will not have access to the other side of the road. Is that how horrible it is right now? It's horrible right now in the part of Michoacan, and it's horrible right now in the part of Guerrero. It is a complete disgrace what our government of Mexico it is doing to our people. It is a complete disgrace how people still believe that a communist system will work in a country. Es totalmente ridículo que la gente todavía piense que el comunismo trabaja y funciona después de ver estas tragedias y después de ver este sistema quebrantado y corrupto que, señores, no funciona. People are suffering. People are leaving their homes. People are putting their lives at danger to live in a place where an organized crime and the cartel has taken over. Yesterday, we were talking to a family from Venezuela. Beautiful human beings. Beautiful people. It's a beautiful family. Which they were involved in the opposition of the political party that is against Maduro. And they were explaining to us, and you can see it in their eyes and their expression, how every single one of them was saying, we used to have the best. We used to be the most richest country in the world, in the Latin America. And now we are one of the poorest countries in the continent of America because of communism. El comunismo no sirve. El comunismo no trabaja. Fuera comunismo. Fuera el socialismo. Alto a la violencia y a la delincuencia en nuestro país de México. Y alto al comunismo en Venezuela. Communism does not work. Socialism does not work. Let's put a halt and a stop to the violence and the delinquence that is occurring in our country of Mexico and in the parts of Michoacan and Guerrero. Let's try to expose that so we can save those people, and let's try to expose that so much so those people will have some hope to a better life. That's the only thing that we can do, and it's the only thing, the only way that we can help. It is a critical situation which is happening in our country of Mexico, and it is a critical situation which is happening in Venezuela, specifically in the parts of Guerrero and ultimately in the parts of Michoacan, and also in the parts like we were hearing some migrants from Venezuela yesterday from Apure. horrible what is happening over there. It is difficult, but it's horrible what is happening over there. Don't miss next week. I will be putting a package for you guys together, a video of the reality of the interviews, protecting, of course, the security and the image of the migrants, but ultimately protecting the security of their images and their faces of these people that they are exposing the reality of what is happening in Michoacan and Guerrero, the violence and the delinquents, that they are taking over our own people. We will be exposing that, bringing you guys the reality and the truth about these videos and these interviews, that they're going to show you and shock you of what is going on and what is happening over there that is ultimately horrible. And also, we will have a special of the migrants from Venezuela on how they have destroyed Venezuela with their communistic ideology. Don't miss it. Later on this afternoon, people, we will have a video specifically for you. I will do a live feed, practically talking about the situation that had just happened with a 7-year-old, I think so, at the port of entry, right here in San Isidro. Another little girl being dropped on the other side of the fence like it was a piece of meat. These animals, they don't care about children. These animals, they don't care about kids. They don't care about their lives. These animals, they basically don't care. And we need to do something about it. So we will be talking about that yesterday. And also, you know, what has happened with the Kamala Harris visit into our country of Mexico. It's nice for a vice president to visit the governmental palace. It's really nice to go and have a really nice dinner over a really big table with gold plates and beautiful music and, you know, an expensive attire. And they take you to the beautiful places of Mexico. They tell you this is Mexico. Welcome, Miss Kamala Harris, to Mexico. But that is the image that they're trying to give you. That is the image that they're trying to put in your face. Why don't you go to the border where the problem is? Why don't you go to Tapachula, where you got more than 15,000 people from Haiti waiting for a response for your promises from Joe Biden? Why don't you go to McAllen, Texas, in the parts of Tamaulipas, Reynosa, Matamoros, so you will see the shelters, how people are living? Why don't you go to Juarez? ¿Por qué no vas a Sonora? Why don't you come over here to Tijuana and see how is the reality? But now you're sitting down at a really expensive table, eating really expensive food, like, you know, vice presidents do. Let us arrange it all in the table and let the people take care of it. We have people to take care of it, right? Leaders, they act. Leaders, they go to the place where it's happening and they show their face and they show what they're going to do and they actually do something about it. Leaders, they show humbleness. Leaders, they show heart. Leaders, they show character. Leaders, they don't go to castles and they just show, nice to meet you, Mr. President. Let's go have dinner. Those are not leaders. Those are people that take orders. Those are dictators. God bless you all. Don't miss our live feed later on this afternoon, as we are going to do a live feed for every single one of you guys. talk about what is going on with this, again, another child being pushed through the wall. And also the visit of Miss Kamala Harris to our country. Ultimately, we are going to be putting a package of interviews for you guys. I told you guys that there was another migrant that almost got blackmailed by a fake ICE agent, impersonating an ICE agent. These people don't care anymore. These people don't care anymore. I don't know who they are, if they are activists, if they are the same organized crime, if they're people that they know they're taking advantage of people. This needs to stop and it needs to be exposed. There's always a place where you need to put a halt and a stop to this. And everything, we are going to push, if they're going to push migration, it needs to be organized, legally done. This is an embarrassment of an immigration movement. Really it is. God bless you all. Follow my partner, Real Anthony Agüero, at every platform that exists. And also you can follow me as Oscar Blue. You can follow me at Instagram, Telegram, Facebook, YouTube, and also Rumble, I think so. I have those platforms. It was a pleasure to talk to you guys. I will see you guys in a little while. And, you know, stay safe. And like we always say, people, peace and love. Because always your country's first. God bless.